The glitz and glamour of Hollywood are a dream for many, but the reality behind the scenes isn't always as bright. Fame and fortune can vanish as quickly as they arrive, leaving some of Hollywood's most celebrated stars struggling to reclaim their footing. For some, the spiral leads to an unimaginable outcome: homelessness. These are stories of immense highs and devastating lows, of actors who once graced red carpets and starred in blockbuster films but now find themselves battling the harsh realities of life on the streets. Before we start, hit the like and subscribe buttons for more updates. One of the most heartbreaking stories is that of Randy Quaid, a celebrated actor whose performances in films like National Lampoon's Vacation and Independence Day cemented his place in Hollywood history. Quaid, known for his quirky charm and comedic timing, seemed untouchable at the height of his career. However, his personal life began to unravel in the late 2000s. Legal troubles and a growing sense of paranoia saw Quaid and his wife Evie make headlines for bizarre behavior, including accusations of squatting in a home they once owned. The couple's belief that they were being targeted by a shadowy group they called Hollywood Star Whackers alienated them further from the industry. Eventually, financial difficulties and legal woes left them reportedly homeless for a period, living out of hotels and even fleeing to Canada in an attempt to escape their perceived persecution. Quaid's fall from grace serves as a cautionary tale of how fame and mental health struggles can collide, leading to devastating consequences. Margot Kidder, the iconic actress best known for portraying Lois Lane in the Superman films opposite Christopher Reeve, also faced a tragic descent into homelessness. Kidder's career peaked in the late 1970s and early 1980s, but a series of personal and financial crises began to erode her stability. She struggled with bipolar disorder, a condition that often left her unable to work consistently. In the 1990s, Kidder's life took a heartbreaking turn when she was discovered living on the streets of Los Angeles, disheveled and battling delusions. Her mental health crisis garnered widespread media attention, shining a light on the plight of those who struggle with untreated mental illness. While Kidder eventually found help and spoke openly about her condition in later years, her period of homelessness remains a sobering reminder of how even the most celebrated stars are not immune to life's challenges. Tom Sizemore, known for his gritty performances in films like Saving Private Ryan and Heat, experienced a meteoric rise in the 1990s. His intensity and raw talent made him a sought-after actor. But behind the scenes, Sizemore battled substance abuse that derailed his career. As his addiction deepened, his roles diminished, and his financial troubles grew. By the 2010s, reports surfaced of Sizemore living in squalor, struggling to make ends meet. At one point, he admitted to living in a squat house with no running water, a stark contrast to the luxurious lifestyle he once enjoyed. Sizemore's story is one of immense talent and potential undone by personal demons, underscoring the destructive power of addiction and the fragility of Hollywood success. Bobby Driscoll, a child star of the 1940s and 1950s, is a haunting example of how early fame can take a tragic toll. Driscoll, best remembered as the voice of Disney's Peter Pan, and for his roles in classics like Song of the South, was the epitome of a golden boy. However, as he grew older, the industry turned its back on him, and his youthful charm faded. Struggling to find work as an adult actor, Driscoll became addicted to drugs, which further alienated him from Hollywood. By the 1960s, he was estranged from his family and living in poverty. In a heartbreaking twist, Driscoll's body was discovered in an abandoned New York City tenement in 1968, where he had died alone, penniless, and unrecognized. His unclaimed remains were buried in a pauper's grave, marking a tragic end to a life once filled with promise. Natasha Lyonne, now celebrated for her roles in Orange is the New Black and Russian Doll, is another Hollywood figure who faced homelessness, albeit temporarily. Lyonne's early career was marked by notable successes, including her roles in American Pie and Slums of Beverly Hills. However, her struggle with addiction and legal troubles in the mid-2000s brought her career to a standstill. Reports emerged of Lyonne living on friends' couches and battling serious health issues, including a collapsed lung and hepatitis C. Despite hitting rock bottom, Lyonne managed to rebuild her life and career, eventually becoming a beacon of resilience and recovery. Her story is a rare example of someone overcoming homelessness and personal struggles to reclaim their place in Hollywood. Danny Bonaduce, best known for his role as a child actor on The Partridge Family, has spoken openly about his experiences with homelessness. Bonaduce's life after the show was marred by addiction, legal issues, and financial instability. At his lowest point, he found himself living out of his car, a far cry from the idyllic image of his TV family. Bonadus's journey is one of immense highs and lows, as he eventually worked his way back into the public eye through radio and reality television. His candid discussions about his struggles have helped shed light on the challenges faced by former child stars, who often grapple with the pressures of early fame and a lack of support systems once the spotlight fades. Richard Hatch, best known for his role as Captain Apollo in the original Battlestar Galactica series, was once a heartthrob who captured the attention of millions. Hatch's career, while successful for a time, did not yield the financial security many would expect. After the original series ended, Hatch struggled to find steady acting work, and his efforts to revive Battlestar Galactica as a writer and producer did not bring the financial windfall he hoped for. For a period, Hatch found himself homeless, couch surfing with friends and relying on their kindness to get by. Despite his struggles, Hatch remained passionate about his craft, attending conventions and connecting with fans who cherished his work. His story underscores how even a beloved icon can face financial hardships when opportunities dry up. Linda Blair, famous for her iconic role as Regan in The Exorcist, experienced one of the most tumultuous rises and falls in Hollywood. Blair's success as a young actress was overshadowed by personal and professional challenges as she grew older. Struggling to shed the image of her demonic character, she found it increasingly difficult to land substantial roles in the industry. In the 1980s, Blair's life took a dark turn as she grappled with substance abuse and financial instability. Reports of Blair living out of motels and facing periods of homelessness surfaced, highlighting how early stardom can become a double-edged sword. Though she later transitioned into animal activism and occasional acting roles, her years of hardship serve as a stark reminder of how fleeting Hollywood fame can be. Edward Furlong, who shot to fame as John Connor in Terminator 2: Judgment Day, seemed destined for a long and successful career. However, Furlong's struggles with addiction and legal issues derailed his promising future. His personal life became a chaotic mix of courtroom battles and substance abuse, leading to a complete breakdown in his career. Reports emerged of Furlong living on the streets for a time, unable to find stability or support. While he has made sporadic attempts to return to acting, his story highlights how quickly a Hollywood star can fall from grace when battling personal demons without the necessary support systems. Drew Barrymore, now a beloved actress, producer, and talk show host, endured a period of homelessness in her tumultuous youth. Barrymore, born into one of Hollywood's most famous families, began acting as a child and rose to fame with her role in E.T. the Extraterrestrial. However, the pressures of early stardom took their toll, and Barrymore's teenage years were marked by drug addiction, rehab stints, and estrangement from her family. At one point, she was living on her own at the age of 14 without a stable home or parental support. Barrymore's remarkable comeback, rebuilding her career and life, stands as a testament to her resilience and determination to overcome the odds. Jennifer Capriati, although better known for her tennis career, also dabbled in Hollywood and made appearances on screen in the 1990s. Capriati's rise to fame as a tennis prodigy came with immense pressure, leading her to seek solace in Hollywood circles. However, the stress of her athletic career, combined with struggles to adapt to fame, eventually led to her downfall. By her late teens, Capriati had faced legal troubles and battled depression, culminating in a period where she reportedly lived on the streets. Her story blurs the line between Hollywood and the sports world, showing how fame in any arena can bring similar challenges and heartbreaks. Erin Moran, fondly remembered for her role as Joni Cunningham on Happy Days, faced a heartbreaking journey after the show ended. Moran struggled to find consistent acting work in the years that followed, and her financial troubles began to mount. By the 2010s, Moran was reportedly homeless, living in a trailer park with her husband after losing their home. Media reports painted a grim picture of her struggles with substance abuse and health issues, which further compounded her difficulties. Moran's untimely death in 2017 from complications of cancer brought her tragic story to a close, but her struggles highlight the precarious nature of success in Hollywood, where fortunes can change in an instant. Nick Stahl, once a promising actor known for his roles in Terminator 3, Rise of the Machines and Sin City, saw his career derailed by personal struggles. Despite being hailed as a talented actor early on, Stahl's life became a tragic cycle of substance abuse and legal troubles. By 2012, Stahl made headlines when he disappeared for weeks, only to later reveal that he had been living on the streets of Los Angeles. His story is emblematic of the way addiction and mental health struggles can erode even the most promising careers. Though Stahl has sought treatment and attempted to make a comeback, his journey through homelessness serves as a stark reminder of the challenges faced by many in Hollywood. Michael Winslow, celebrated for his hilarious sound effects and unique voice in the Police Academy series, experienced a surprising fall from grace. Winslow was a comedic icon during the 1980s, but as the popularity of the Police Academy films waned, so did his career opportunities. Financial mismanagement compounded the issue, leaving Winslow in dire financial straits. At one point, he reportedly faced homelessness, struggling to maintain stability in his life. Though he eventually managed to rebuild himself through stand-up comedy and voice work, his plight highlights how the fading of a once iconic franchise can leave its stars vulnerable. Sylvester Stallone, one of Hollywood's most recognizable action stars, also experienced homelessness before his big break. Stallone, desperate for work and unable to afford rent, found himself living on the streets of New York City in the early 1970s. He spent nights sleeping in bus stations and struggled to make ends meet. At his lowest point, Stallone was forced to sell his dog, his only companion, for $50 to survive. However, his fortunes changed when he wrote Rocky, a script he famously refused to sell unless he could star in the film. Stallone's rise from homelessness to international stardom is one of Hollywood's most inspiring success stories, but it also serves as a testament to how easily someone's fortunes can be reversed. Natasha Henstridge, the star of the 1995 science fiction thriller Species, experienced a meteoric rise to fame, followed by years of personal and financial hardship. After the success of her early career, Henstridge faced a series of setbacks, including dwindling roles and financial troubles. In interviews, she has spoken about a period of homelessness where she relied on friends and temporary accommodations to get by. Henstridge's story demonstrates how even those who achieve Hollywood success can find themselves struggling when opportunities dwindle and life takes unexpected turns. Gary Busey, known for his roles in films like The Buddy Holly Story and Point Break, became a Hollywood fixture with his distinctive personality and commanding screen presence. However, Busey's life took a dramatic turn after a motorcycle accident in 1988 left him with a severe head injury affecting his behavior and decision-making. Over the years, his erratic behavior, compounded by financial difficulties and substance abuse, led to periods where he was reportedly homeless. Though Busey has since regained some stability and continues to appear in films and television, his journey highlights how sudden life events can alter a once thriving career. Jan Michael Vincent, the star of the 1980s hit series Airwolf, was once one of television's highest-paid actors. However, his career was marred by substance abuse, erratic behavior, and a series of legal and financial troubles. As his star faded, Vincent's life unraveled. By the late 1990s, he had lost much of his fortune and was reported to have been living on the streets at one point. His battles with addiction and poor health further compounded his struggles, leading to a steep decline in his quality of life. Vincent passed away in 2019, leaving behind a legacy of unrealized potential and a cautionary tale about the dangers of excess and poor decision-making. David Hasselhoff, the star of Knight Rider and Baywatch, was once a global icon, with his shows airing in over 140 countries. Despite his monumental success, Hasselhoff struggled with financial mismanagement and a widely publicized battle with alcoholism. At one point, his financial troubles left him on the brink of homelessness, with mounting legal bills and a dwindling income threatening to take everything he had. While Hasselhoff managed to rebuild his career, his near collapse serves as a reminder of how even the most bankable stars can face financial ruin without careful management of their wealth. Corey Haim, one of the biggest teen idols of the 1980s, known for his roles in films like The Lost Boys, faced a tragic descent into poverty and addiction. Haim's career skyrocketed at an early age, but the pressure of stardom and the lack of guidance led him down a dangerous path. As his career dried up, his personal troubles deepened. By the mid-2000s, Haim was living in squalor, reportedly sleeping on friends' couches and unable to afford basic necessities. His tragic death in 2010 at the age of 38 underscored the harsh realities of child stardom and the toll it can take on young actors without proper support. Vern Troyer, beloved for his role as Mini-Me in the Austin Powers films, captured audiences with his humor and charisma. However, his success masked personal struggles that plagued him for years. Despite his fame, Troyer dealt with financial instability and mental health issues that led to reports of homelessness at various points in his life. His small stature and health complications made his challenges even more difficult. Although Troyer continued to work sporadically, his story highlights how fame can coexist with profound personal hardship, often hidden behind a public persona. Chris McCandless, while not a traditional Hollywood actor, was the subject of the acclaimed film Into the Wild, which chronicled his life and eventual death after choosing to abandon societal norms for a life of solitude. McCandless, a promising student, gave up his material possessions and family connections to live on the road, effectively making himself homeless. Though his journey was a personal choice rather than a result of misfortune, McCandless's story, immortalized by the film, resonates with the theme of homelessness and the societal challenges faced by those who live without a permanent home. His tragic death in the Alaskan wilderness at the age of 24 brought attention to the complexities of choosing a life outside the conventional. Amanda Bynes, a child star beloved for her work on The Amanda Show and What a Girl Wants, experienced a startling fall from grace after stepping away from Hollywood. Bynes, once a comedy darling, faced a series of mental health crises and legal troubles that left her estranged from her family and financially unstable. At one point, she was spotted living on the streets of Los Angeles, fueling media speculation about her well-being. While Bynes has made efforts to regain control of her life, her story reflects the pressures of growing up in the public eye and the devastating consequences of untreated mental health conditions. Isaiah Washington, a prominent actor best known for his role as Dr. Preston Burke on Grey's Anatomy, faced homelessness after his departure from the show. Following a public controversy and his subsequent firing, Washington found himself blacklisted in Hollywood, which severely impacted his career and finances. At one point, he admitted to having to sell his belongings to survive, even spending a brief period without a permanent home. Washington eventually found work in independent films and other projects, but his story illustrates how quickly Hollywood can turn its back on even the most talented performers. Lonnie Willison, a former fitness model and actress best known for her marriage to Baywatch star Jeremy Jackson, faced a dramatic and tragic fall from grace. Once a picture of health and success, Willison's life unraveled following her divorce, struggles with addiction, and mental health issues. By 2016, she was homeless, living on the streets of Los Angeles. Photographs of her pushing a cart filled with belongings shocked those who remembered her as a vibrant personality. Despite efforts from friends and former colleagues to help her, Willison has remained resistant to assistance, illustrating the immense difficulty of breaking free from the cycle of homelessness. Yasmin Bleeth, another Baywatch alum, was one of the most recognizable faces of the 1990s, thanks to her role as Caroline Holden. However, Bleeth's struggles with addiction derailed her promising career. After leaving the show, her substance abuse problems worsened, leading to arrests and stints in rehab. At her lowest point, she was reportedly without a home, relying on the kindness of friends for shelter. Although Bleeth has since retreated from the public eye, her story serves as a cautionary tale about the pressures of fame and the personal battles that often go unnoticed. Rick Moranis, beloved for his roles in Ghostbusters and Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, faced a unique form of homelessness, one rooted in personal sacrifice rather than financial hardship. After his wife's tragic death, Moranis chose to step away from Hollywood to raise his children as a single father. While he maintained a relatively stable life, he left behind his Hollywood home and career, which some interpreted as a kind of voluntary homelessness from the industry. Moranis eventually returned to acting years later, but his absence highlights the lengths some stars will go to prioritize family over fame. Danny Pintaro, famous for his role as Jonathan Bauer on the hit sitcom Who's the Boss, experienced a tumultuous life after leaving the show. As an adult, Pintaro struggled with addiction and financial difficulties that left him on the verge of homelessness. His struggles were compounded by health issues and public scrutiny, particularly after he revealed his HIV-positive status. Pintaro has since worked to rebuild his life and become an advocate for addiction recovery and HIV awareness, using his story as a platform to help others. Ted Williams, also known as the man with the golden voice, became an overnight sensation after a viral video showcased his incredible radio announcer voice. Williams, who had struggled with addiction and homelessness for years, was suddenly thrust into the spotlight. Offers for work and assistance poured in, but his transition from the streets to a life of fame was fraught with challenges. Williams relapsed and faced difficulties adjusting to his newfound celebrity, but he eventually found stability and began to use his platform to speak about homelessness and recovery. His story underscores the complexity of escaping homelessness, even with widespread support. Bonnie Lee Bakley, a struggling actress and aspiring singer, is perhaps better known for her tumultuous personal life than for her Hollywood career. Bakley spent much of her life chasing fame, often involving herself with high-profile figures in the entertainment industry. She experienced periods of financial instability and homelessness, living out of her car at times while pursuing her dreams. Tragically, Bakley's life came to a violent end when she was murdered in 2001, with her husband, actor Robert Blake, accused of orchestrating her death. Her story is a grim reminder of how the pursuit of fame can lead to heartbreak and tragedy. The stories of Hollywood stars who have faced homelessness offer a poignant reminder that fame and fortune are not guarantees of a stable or happy life. Despite their talents and success, these individuals endured unimaginable hardships, battling addiction, mental health issues, financial instability, and personal tragedy. Reflecting on these 30 stars highlights the fragility of celebrity and the resilience of the human spirit, with each story carrying its own lessons and heartbreaks. Randy Quaid, once a celebrated character actor known for his roles in National Lampoon's Vacation and Independence Day, became a symbol of the unpredictable nature of Hollywood fame. His descent into paranoia, legal troubles, and financial instability led to a period of homelessness for him and his wife Evie, as they claimed to be fleeing a shadowy conspiracy targeting celebrities. Similarly, Margot Kidder, the unforgettable Lois Lane of the Superman franchise, struggled with untreated bipolar disorder, which led to a tragic period of homelessness and public mental health crises. Both cases reveal how untreated mental health issues can erode even the most glittering careers. Tom Sizemore, whose performances in Saving Private Ryan and Heat solidified his place as a Hollywood tough guy, succumbed to substance abuse that left him penniless and living in squalor. His battle with addiction underscores the destructive power of drugs and the challenges of recovery. Bobby Driscoll, the child star of Peter Pan, endured a similar downward spiral. After being abandoned by Hollywood as he aged out of child roles, he turned to drugs, ultimately dying alone in a New York City tenement, a tragic end to a life once filled with promise. While some stars succumbed to their struggles, others, like Natasha Lyonne and Danny Bonaduce, managed to rebuild their lives. Lyonne's career stalled due to addiction and health issues, leaving her homeless and at rock bottom before she reclaimed her success with Orange is the New Black and Russian Doll. Bonaduce, the Partridge Family child star, similarly hit rock bottom, living in his car at one point, before finding redemption in radio and television. Their resilience offers hope for those facing similar struggles. Richard Hatch of Battlestar Galactica fame and Linda Blair, immortalized as Reagan in The Exorcist, faced financial instability that led to periods of homelessness. Hatch struggled to maintain his career after the original series ended, while Blair's inability to shake her horror icon image, coupled with personal struggles, left her in dire straits. Edward Furlong, the young star of Terminator 2, and Aaron Moran of Happy Days endured similar fates, with addiction and financial instability eroding their lives. Furlong's battles with substance abuse mirrored those of many other stars on this list, and Moran's tragic death in poverty highlighted the harsh realities of Hollywood's disregard for aging stars. Drew Barrymore, a rare success story of recovery, faced homelessness as a teenager after being emancipated from her parents. Despite her early struggles with addiction and instability, she turned her life around, building a successful career as an actress, producer, and talk show host. Jennifer Capriati, the tennis prodigy who also dabbled in Hollywood, similarly experienced homelessness after falling into depression and legal trouble. Both Barrymore and Capriati illustrate how young stardom can leave individuals vulnerable to exploitation and personal challenges. Nick Stahl, who appeared in Terminator 3 and Sin City, found himself homeless during his battles with addiction, disappearing for weeks at a time. Michael Winslow of Police Academy fame also struggled financially, with reports suggesting he faced homelessness after the franchise faded from popularity. Their stories remind us that even those who make audiences laugh and cheer can endure profound personal hardships. Sylvester Stallone's journey from homelessness to superstardom is one of the most inspiring tales in this collection. Living in bus stations and selling his dog to survive, Stallone persevered, writing Rocky and refusing to sell the script unless he could star in the film. Natasha Henstridge of Species fame faced a different trajectory, grappling with financial instability after her career slowed, reportedly experiencing homelessness for a period. Stallone's perseverance and Henstridge's challenges both underscore the unpredictable nature of Hollywood's success. Gary Busey and Jan Michael Vincent exemplify how sudden life events can derail a career. Busey's motorcycle accident and Vincent's addiction issues left both stars in dire circumstances. While Busey managed to find some stability later, Vincent's life remained tumultuous until his death in 2019, highlighting the often irreparable damage caused by addiction and injury. David Hasselhoff and Corey Haim both experienced the double-edged sword of early stardom. Hasselhoff's financial mismanagement and struggles with alcoholism nearly left him homeless, while Haim's addiction and inability to transition from child stardom to adult roles led to years of poverty and instability. Their stories reveal how fame can create as many problems as it solves, leaving individuals ill-prepared for life's challenges. Vern Troyer of Austin Powers fame dealt with financial instability and health complications, leading to reports of homelessness despite his success. Chris McCandless, immortalized in Into the Wild, voluntarily left behind material possessions for a life of solitude, ultimately dying in the Alaskan wilderness. While his journey was one of personal choice, it serves as a broader commentary on society's struggles with isolation and identity. Amanda Bynes, a beloved child star, faced a highly publicized fall from grace due to mental health issues and addiction. Her battles with homelessness and instability were well documented, though she has since worked toward recovery. Isaiah Washington, blacklisted from Hollywood after a controversy, also faced financial struggles that left him briefly homeless. Their stories highlight how public perception and mental health challenges can amplify personal hardships. Lonnie Willison's descent from fitness model and actress to homelessness on the streets of Los Angeles is one of the most heartbreaking stories of this group. Her resistance to assistance reflects the complex nature of homelessness and mental health. Yasmin Bleeth of Baywatch fame similarly struggled with addiction and financial instability, retreating from the public eye after a turbulent period in her life. Their stories serve as stark reminders of the human cost of addiction and the challenges of rebuilding a life after falling from grace. Rick Moranis' voluntary departure from Hollywood to care for his children after his wife's death was an act of profound love, but it also cost him the career he had built. Although his return to acting was met with enthusiasm, his story underscores the sacrifices people make for family. Danny Pintorro of Who's the Boss faced a similar reckoning, battling addiction and homelessness while advocating for HIV awareness later in life. Ted Williams, the man with the golden voice, found himself propelled to stardom after a viral video, but his homelessness and battles with addiction were a harsh reminder of the challenges of escaping the streets. Bonnie Lee Bakley's pursuit of fame led her to periods of homelessness before her tragic murder, highlighting the darker side of ambition and the perils of chasing the Hollywood dream. These 30 stories collectively paint a vivid picture of the highs and lows of life in Hollywood. For some, like Drew Barrymore and Sylvester Stallone, their experiences with homelessness became a catalyst for extraordinary comebacks. Others, like Margot Kidder, Corey Haim, and Bobby Driscoll, were unable to escape their circumstances, leaving behind legacies tinged with tragedy. Each story underscores the fleeting nature of fame, the importance of mental health support, and the resilience required to navigate life in the spotlight. These tales remind us that behind the glamour of Hollywood are real people facing real struggles. Fame does not shield anyone from addiction, mental health challenges, or financial ruin. As much as these stories highlight the pitfalls of celebrity, they also call for compassion, understanding, and a commitment to supporting those in need, whether they are household names or faces in the crowd. If you liked this video, please give it a like and subscribe to our channel. Also, could you leave your comments below and tell us, what are your thoughts on Hollywood stars becoming homeless? We want to hear from you. Thank you for watching, and see you next time.